You know how hard it is to do a job without the right tools. In this video, I'll share some simple tools that are going to save you time, aggravation, and money because you're going to move around the car safer and faster than you normally would with lousy tools. Stay tuned until the end because I'm going to show you tips and tricks throughout the video that are definitely going to help you out. Let's get into it. The first major tool I don't think I could live without would be a nice quality set of wire strippers and a good wire crimper. I want to make sure I get a good peel back of wire sheathing when I'm going to do a crimp, and I want to make sure that I'm going to lock it down tight so I know that crimp is going to be able to last the test of time, give me no issues, give me no problems. Also, if you want something smaller that you can get into tight spaces, something like this is great. It's actually got the crimper on it and it's got a stripper on it, so it's kind of a two-in-one. Point being, make sure you get good quality tools that you're comfortable with. Make sure they're built well and will last, and moreover, make sure that they're strong enough that you can get some leverage. If you can, try to stay away from something super simple like this. You can just see it's pretty thin, it does the job, but these are just so much more robust. You're going to get a heck of a lot more clamp force out of these ones. In the description below, you'll find some links to a lot of the quality tools that we use around here. Since we're just talking electrical, I don't think you can possibly work well without a good quality electrical test light. This is entry level, but quality and does the job. You just simply hook it to a ground, hook it to a positive. You can see if you've got power, continuity. Pretty simple to see how that works. But in terms of a test light, I run what's called a PowerProbe. Here's a little info on it, and I'll share it down below. These things are amazing. This PowerProbe can be used to introduce power to something. I can introduce ground to something. I can check power voltage. If you can see, I'm showing 12 volts right now. So if I ran the truck, I could check on my alternator, see if I'm putting out 14 volts. I can see if I'm putting out low voltage. If I want to do different things like introduce power to something, for example, I can go here and I can go to my headlight, and you'll notice right now I show ground because I have a circuit. I give it power. Lo and behold, look, the light comes on. So this is a huge game changer. You'll be able to test power circuits, introduce power to different circuits to find out if the thing actually works, and then chase backwards for wiring issues. It has a ground tail built on it, so if you're working on like a power window, you can clip it to the ground and the positive to send it up or down. I absolutely cannot imagine living without a PowerProbe or something of the like. They come with a bunch of different connectors and different things you can do. Check them out. It's a game changer. I know I said some tools might save you time and save you money. Well, a fender cover definitely saves you money. Nobody wants to pay to fix any paint jobs. Nobody wants to do anything twice. A nice fender cover like this one, mine has magnets on it that'll latch down on inside the engine bay. The reason this is so comfortable is it's extra thick. It's got an underlining that's soft and protects your nice paint and is washable so you can keep it clean for years to come. This guy's super durable and versatile. You can use them almost any way you want. This is another fender cover that I swear by. It's made by a local guy here in Sacramento, but it wraps around the whole surround of the nose, so it gives you area. So if you're working on the car, you have a place to set your tools without scratching stuff, helps keep things from rolling around. Definitely soft on the paint. It too is washable. I love something that's washable because when you're working around all these nice cars, it's very important you keep things clean, safe, protected, no scratches, no dents, no hidden expenses. So check out something like this. Make sure you get a good fender cover. You can even run something really basic like Summit Racing, Jags, all these guys sell like a $15 cover. I just don't like that they slip around a lot. But no matter what, take a minute, protect the surface you're working on. It'll save you money in the end. If you don't have any ratcheting wrenches, you better get a set. These are the best things since sliced bread. They allow you to get on any given bolt and ratchet to make everything so much easier. If you want, you can even add a flip head so you can get the proper angle. It'll really save you a ton of time. For example, let me show you. So instead of sitting here fighting the stupid thing, I can get in here, make sure I'm set to loosen, get in here, I can adjust my angle of my wrench, and bam, look at that. How much easier is that than sitting there and fighting it? I mean, you could have spent 5 minutes sitting there fighting that. Now I'm in there, got the nut off. In fact, while I'm at it, I'll change this nut. This really should have a washer and a shoulder nut. Point being, get yourself some ratcheting wrenches. They don't have to be expensive. They sell these at like Harbor Freight, O'Reilly, anything like that. This happens to be a Mac, but again, these aren't going to do a lot of heavy lifting for you. They're going to do light work on a regular basis, so most of the ones that are offered on the market are going to be good enough. While we're on the topic of wrenches, I think everybody should get themselves a set of stubby or short wrenches. They don't have to be expensive either because, like I said, they're not doing a lot of heavy, high torque load work, but they're super handy to get in places. If I'm working on something like a battery or a battery cable, I can just take this little guy and get in here as opposed to trying to wield a long wrench. So get a set of stubbies. Another trick that I learned, a lot of you guys will know this, it's just little mechanics tricks. If I'm trying to tighten something tight with that little guy, I can get a ton of torque on it and pull until I fly off and hurt myself. Or you can simply slide another wrench onto a wrench oftentimes and use it like that and get leverage. It's gonna save your knuckles and save you in the end. Another thing that's nice is when you have a hood that wants to fall down like this, is using your head. That's one tool. But a hood prop rod. A number of companies make these adjustable hood prop rods that you can use that are extremely sturdy, that'll hold that hood up while I get in there and work. What's nice about these is you can place them in the corner. They're super sturdy. They don't take up much space. Allow you safety so you can get in here and not worry about getting yourself pinched. Also, if I've got to do something like work on the hood hinge, like on this car, it's got an aftermarket hood hinge and these struts aren't very good. So what I can do is I can work on the hood like this and it's still going to hold it up. Or if I needed to change my hood hinge, I can trust this to hold it up. Or oftentimes if we're pulling a motor out and we want to leave the hood on and we need just a little bit more room, you can get a little aggressive, push that guy up as far as it's going to go. See how high I have that hood up right now? It's not in bind, it's not hitting anything, but if I wasn't using this, I'd be open to about there. What a game changer. Another tool that's going to save your keister, swivel-headed sockets. This thing's at a crazy angle right here, and I'm able to get in here and tighten this radiator right up. Normally, you'd be fumbling away for many a minute, all done. So if you can get yourself a good quality swivel-headed set of sockets, these ones here are amazing. They come in all different sizes, all different shapes, but any of these are going to allow you that swivel access to get into a tight spot. So as we all know, ratchets, extensions, everything else is important, but what I'm trying to get at is some of the time savers here. These little swivel head sockets don't always have to be the most expensive. You'll notice I'm not a total tool whore, so I don't have to have the most expensive tools, although some of you do, and I get it. But get tools that are practical and tools that will save you time. Around my shop, we've become a huge fan of all of these small handheld electric tools. The torque that they offer now are so phenomenal. You can do, obviously these aren't big bolts, but you can do relatively large bolts, small bolts. You actually have pretty good control over the unit. Organization is key too. Anytime you can have all your stuff organized, you're always going to know where to find it. But back to these electric tools. Nowadays, all we're using for most of the things we're doing are going to be electric tools. We certainly have a giant air compressor in the shop is plumbed with pneumatic air for all of our giant impact wrenches, impact guns, everything else. But around here it seems like with the proliferance of all these new lithium-ion batteries, you can get giant drills, you can get small ratchets that have a ton of torque, cordless sanders and grinders. It's just amazing. I mean, it seems like anytime the tool truck comes around here, it's like Christmas. Everybody's always buying something. So check out the latest and greatest in terms of electric tools that are out there. In shop, we use a lot of the Milwaukee stuff. This is no sponsored commercial here or anything. I'm just telling you what we use because they have a huge product breadth. And once you buy tools, the tools aren't nearly as expensive as are the batteries. So try to stick with one line of tools. If you're a DeWalt guy, get a bunch of DeWalt tools. If you're a Makita guy, you know what I mean? You can use the same batteries across the board. But once you have battery packs, it's not that expensive to buy a tool. Check out all the electronic stuff. The batteries last forever. They have a ton of torque and they get the job done incredibly well. Here's a cool tip I just learned recently. You ever have a hole that's drilled in something and you need to make the hole slightly bigger? How do I possibly get another drill bit or hole saw to center on that? I guess I could just try to sit and hold it and hope for the best. If I'm in sheet metal, it's going to grab and run for sure. So here's a cool trick. What you do is you simply take the larger hole saw that you need to cut to, thread your smaller hole saw that was the wrong size in there. This can be done in any configuration of sizes if you just need to step the hole. I'll do it exaggerated for this example. Put one over the other, use the small one as the guide instead of the drill bit. Watch, instead of trying to center that hole, voila, I was able to take that small hole and make it a big hole just like that. I wish I knew that a few years ago. You ever struggle with trying to get wipers on and off a car? Different tools in here, a screwdriver, try not to scratch it. Check this little guy out. It's a wiper arm removal tool. Watch how simple this will be. Go up, clicks right underneath the wiper arm, pull, lean, and pop it off. You can see it just grabs right on there. Unload the spring. You can actually use them to put them on and off. Super easy. Game changer. A lot of times I see people express a lot of concern and or struggle a bunch with removing window trims. If you have the right type of window trim removal tool, it makes the life so much easier. Something like this is going to have a nice little cleated edge where you can reach in there and pop in and pop the clip. Always make sure to tape the glass first. We don't want to scratch the glass. And the whole point of the tool in talking about this is to protect you from bending all of these valuable trims. Put a dent in a trim, it'll cost you money, right? Drop 20 bucks, 40 bucks, whatever might be on a tool, saves you money. You can walk in here, right here's my clip. Get a good pop on it. Nice, that guy came up. Slide it up. Right there's my clip, pop, that just popped. Come on down. Pop, that guy just came up. Come up here, make sure we're good here. Just like that, I got it all unhooked. So now I can gently pull the trim off and pull the trim out. Voila. No dents, no nothing. I'll show you a little closer using the other tool for an example. Simply what that's doing as I'm underneath the trim is I'm able to come along here like this and I'm just popping that clip back. So I'm popping that clip back and allowing the trim flange to pop up. So if you do that gently, you can pop your trim right off. Also, and I'm not going to do that on this car, but I wanted to share this with you too. If you were trying to remove a windshield, you can do it without breaking it, generally speaking, if you have the right tools as well. So a lot of times you'll take a razor knife and cut the edge of the butyl here inside the glass. But this is a really cool trick. So what you can do is this comes in here, start it under the glass, rotate it under the glass, and then I can pull. And I can pull it all the way around, and I'm not going to do it on this car, but I can pull it all the way around. So if I had that inserted there, I'm inside, and you can see how I would just drag that blade and pull that trim. It makes it very easy. See how it swivels? Super easy to be able to pull across. Having the right tool to remove the trim and remove the glass is going to save you a ton of time. Check out the links below. I'll have some info on where you can buy these, and ideally you don't have to go hunt body shop supply stores to get the right tools. You ever get tired of stuff dripping on you? Check out these clamps. You can use a simple clamp like this to go ahead and lock down your hose, so when you unhook a fuel line, a coolant hose, anything like that, you can pinch it off. Walk over to this truck and I'll show you more about it. So it's a real simple deal. It just looks like a pair of scissors, and it's got a clamp that's blunt so it's not sharp. And all you do is when you squeeze it, it's just going to lock down on these little teeth here. Open, close. So if I'm doing something like this, let's say I'm trying to test my heater core, or I want to change this heater control valve, all I've got to do, put that on the hose, close it, the hose is pinched off. Now I can unhook this without worrying about water flying out. Easiest trick in the book. Another quick tip, you ever struggle with trying to get these window cranks and door handles off of these cars? A simple window crank removal tool is your best friend. Definitely want to know which way the crank goes, but you can tell right there. See how that clip got pushed out by the tool? My tool locked right in that slot. I can pull it out, boom. Pop the clip out, thing comes right off. Make sure you get a window clip removal tool for pulling window handles and cranks and door handles off of early GMs and a lot of the other cars. One of the best tools in my toolbox. Cheap, but efficient. Even though it might be expensive, having the proper tools, being organized, and knowing how to use them will be worth the cost. It'll save you in the end.